This is not the summer anyone predicted. On August 2nd, 2025, Luka Doncic signed a 3-year, $165 million extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. Haters said he'd never commit, that he'd chase leverage year by year. But then a behind-the-scenes clip surfaced of Luka mapping out a championship vision in the locker room, and a Spanish legend backed him in public. In one afternoon, the loudest doubts hit mute. Here's the setup. Luka arrived in LA last winter in a trade that shocked the league and rewired the Western Conference. The first half season was messy. A calf strain cost him games. The Lakers crashed out in the first round. The narrative hardened. Incredible talent, questionable conditioning, uncertain fit. That noise didn't fade in July. It grew louder. But when the extension hit, everything flipped. 3 years on paper. A player option at the back end. A timeline that says, I'm here to build, not browse. Watch the opening frames of that locker room clip. No stage lights, no podium. Luka stands inside a circle of teammates and staff. He talks simple. Habits first. Be in championship shape. Push each other now so it carries in May and June. It's not a speech. It's a plan. And it's the exact message critics said he wouldn't deliver. The part the internet clipped over and over was the last line. Set the standard every day. That line matters because it targets the one thing people used against him. Discipline. The contract structure is a stake in the ground. Call it 2+1. It keeps him in purple and gold through 2028 if he wants it. It also lines him up for the biggest payday of his life the moment he crosses 10 years of service. Translation, he didn't take less ambition. He took more control. And the Lakers get clarity. They can recruit and build with dates that actually mean something. No more calendar held hostage by a star's yearly decision day. You can see the ripple effect already. The front office targeted staff who speak Luka's language, literally and tactically. The new strength and conditioning boss worked with him before. The message, we're not just writing checks, we're building a program around our best player. The staff choices tell you the strategy is conditioning first and spacing second. He doesn't need 10 new actions. He needs a roster that runs, screens, and spots up on time, with legs that last into the fourth quarter. Now the Spanish legend part. When Pau Gasol says you did something right in LA, it hits different. He lived the blueprint here. Skill, IQ, humility, banners. Pau praised Luka after the deal and highlighted the work behind the body change. That's not just an Instagram pat on the back. It's a Hall of Famer telling the fan base, this is the path back to June. When the older generation endorses the new star, the room calms down. The standard doesn't move. The skepticism does. And yes, the body change is real. Pictures don't win games, but they do confirm habits. Luka's lighter. His shoulders look carved. His face looks rested, not puffy. The workouts were twice a day, with more movement and less junk volume. The diet tightened up, less sugar, cleaner protein, the stuff critics mocked. Late-game legs, back-to-backs, pace. Those are the first things a lighter frame helps. It's not glamorous, but conditioning is the cheapest superstar upgrade a franchise can buy if the star buys in. Let's talk basketball pressure. Luka's a hero to millions, and he's also a magnet for blame. In Dallas, he carried a heliocentric offense and still heard that he held the ball too long. In LA, he stepped into legends' shadows and got tagged as the guy who couldn't lead this locker room. That's why the timing of the extension matters. It removes the safety net. There's no, let's see next summer. He put his name on the door. With that, the pressure shifts from if he's staying to how fast he climbs. The villain isn't a rival. It's the clock. The stakes are massive. Legacy, money, and the math of the new CBA. The Lakers have to live under apron rules that punish mistakes and reward draft hits. A 2+1 for a 26-year-old megastar creates a window, 2 guaranteed runs, and a potential re-up when the cap spikes. If they thread it, this is the handoff from one era to the next without a valley in between. If they miss, critics will scream that the franchise burned its last clean cap window on hope. So what does this look like on the court? It starts with pace to control whistle flow, early slot ball screens to target mismatches without walking the ball up, and empty corner actions that stretch help defenders past their comfort zones. Put a roller who punishes tags and a wing who will fire on catch without the extra dip. The goal isn't 40 points a night. It's 12 easy points from timing, 10 from foul pressure, and the rest from Luka being Luka. The extension doesn't change his handle, his vision, or his touch. It changes the noise around them. You can already picture the closing lineup. Luka with a spacer at the 5, a switchable forward who screens and slips, a guard who can defend the point of attack, and one sniper who lives above the break. In those groups, the math favors LA because Luka warps weak side rules. Once second defenders step early, the skip is automatic. The shot is clean. If the defense stays home, his layups look easy and demoralizing. This is not magic, it's repetition. Now, the counter case. Some will say he compromised by not forcing a full 5-year today. Others will say the Lakers overpaid for a player who hasn't proven he can guard late in series. And some will claim the first-round exit proved the fit is broken. Fair. But let's stack receipts against the takes. He chose a structure that maximizes earnings later while preserving team flexibility now. The defense question is the same for every heliocentric star. Solve it with size, schemes, and effort. And the early exit? Context matters when you add a calf strain, mid-season roster turnover, and a new system on the fly. The twist in the middle of all this is the future money. By choosing a shorter deal with an option, Luka lines up for the giant extension when his service time unlocks the 35% tier. If the cap keeps growing, that next number could dwarf this one. Fans hear that and say, so he still kept leverage. True, but leverage doesn't always mean leaving. In a smart build, it means power to recruit. It means the star can say to a veteran shooter, take my mid-level now, we'll reward you later. It means the team can plan the second star without panic moves. There's also the LeBron factor. Every day he's in the building, the spotlight burns hotter. The extension lowers the temperature. It's not Luka versus LeBron. It's Luka after LeBron, with room for overlap if timelines align. The message to the locker room is simple. This franchise has a face for the next chapter. That makes role players lean in. It makes a coach's voice louder. It removes whisper campaigns about who gets the last shot in December. It keeps the season about the season. The haters will pivot. They'll say the clip was staged. They'll say the Paul blessing is just PR. They'll say the body change won't last. Maybe. But arguments that live on the internet die on the court. If the October shape matches the August images, if the December pace matches the speech, if the April shot diet favors catch and shoots from teammates over late clock heaves, the narrative flips again. This time for good. Doubters don't need apologies. They need evidence. Luka knows that. The extension buys time to produce it. Let's zoom out. Luka is 26 and already has 5 All-NBA first-team nods. He has dragged teams deep with less than perfect spacing. He has stacked counting stats that don't even make sense for his age. The talent is solved. The story has always been about habits and help. That doesn't guarantee rings. It guarantees clarity. And clarity is how you win hard decisions. You can feel why a Spanish legend added his voice. Pau cares about this franchise's identity. He knows the difference between flash and foundation. When he praises the grind and the humility, he's aiming at the heart of LA basketball culture. The city loves stars. It worships winners. The overlap is where banners live. If Luka keeps this line, humble off court, ruthless on court, the overlap is in reach. In the short term, circle 3 checkpoints. Training camp conditioning tests, the first 10 games, where pace and fourth quarter legs tell you if the summer was real, and the Christmas slate, where the spotlight magnifies your habits. If the Lakers hit 2 out of 3, this narrative is dead by New Year's. If they stumble, the schedule gives them time, but the noise comes back. The window is open. The question is whether the habits can keep it that way. There's a leadership piece too. Being the face of the Lakers is heavier than being the face of almost any other team. Every practice clip becomes a referendum. Every quote becomes a headline. Luka's learning that in real time. The smart move is to put your message where cameras can see it. Conditioning, defense effort, accountability in film. Teammates don't follow speeches. They follow standards. The locker room clip resonated because it wasn't polished. It was a star owning the work in front of peers. For fans, the payoff is simple to picture. A tighter waistline turns into drives that don't die at the rim. Stronger legs turn into step-backs that hold their arc in Game 6. Better spacing turns into weak side threes that feel like layups. And a calmer roster turns into a playoff rotation where everyone knows their job. You don't need 10 miracles. You need 2 role players to overperform, 1 lineup to post a double-digit net rating, and your star to arrive early to training room and late to excuses. What's next? The schedule drops. The workouts continue. The rumors about future partners never stop. But for once, the biggest story is stability. Luka is not hedging. The Lakers are not guessing. A Spanish legend co-signs the direction. A locker room clip shows the message. And the body mirrors the words. It doesn't silence every critic. It silences the fair ones. Here's the verdict. This extension didn't end a story. It began one. The pressure villain has a new rival. Time used well. If the Lakers stick to the plan, habits first, health second, spacing third, the math lines up for a deep run before the option year even arrives. If they drift, the league will punish them with pace and depth. The difference won't be drama, it'll be discipline. That's the part the clip got right. That's the part Pau signaled. And that's the part the contract locks in. The next chapter belongs to the team that shows up early and leaves last. Now lock in a watch list. Preseason body checks. The first time a defense top locks the snipers and dares Luka to finish through contact for 40. These are the mini bosses before April. Beat most of them, and May starts to look familiar again. Lose them, and the villain returns with a louder mic. Either way, the contract guarantees the battle happens here in Los Angeles, in front of fans who don't clap for promises. They clap for banners. So when people ask what changed today, keep it simple. The money sorted the noise. The clip set the tone. The legend stamped the direction. And Luka took ownership of a standard that can finally grow roots in LA. Haters can recycle old takes. The team can chase new ones. The scoreboard will pick a side soon enough. Until then, the message is clear. The window is open, the plan is public, and the clock just started.